Welcome to AmericanHunter.org. On this week's tip, I want to talk about one of the challenges that we face during this part of the season, the last part of October and the first part of November. Typically, we're going to see bucks that are out cruising looking for does. I mean, that's our goal. We can't wait to find them. We spend our whole year waiting just to see that one sight. A big old buck coming through the woods, rack swaying side to side, crunching through the leaves, walking past our tree stand. But that type of hunting does produce, or that scenario does produce a challenge. We have to decide whether or not we're going to stop that buck for the shot. Does it make sense to stop him, or does it make more sense to shoot him while he's walking? So I've done it both ways, and there's definitely trade-offs here, so we're going to look at that really quick. If you're going to stop a buck for a shot, basically you have two risks. The first risk is that he bolts as soon as you make that sound to stop him, and I've seen that happen before. I haven't had it happen to myself, fortunately, but I've had other hunters do it, and I've seen it on videos of people who are hunting on our property. They go bap to stop the deer, boom, gone. Typically it happens most often when the deer is close. When the deer gets further away, they're less likely to react quite with that much severity when they hear that sound. But on the other side of the coin, when you stop them when they're farther away, now you typically take a deer that was walking along in a relaxed way and you put him on red alert. Now you've got a potential string jumper. So this is not an easy thing to figure out. It seems like it should be cut and dried, but it isn't so cut and dried. But fortunately, I do have a shot selection criteria here that I'm going to throw at you and let you kind of digest this. Personally, myself, any shot 20 yards and in, if the deer is walking at just a normal, casual walking pace, I'm going to go ahead and take the walking shot. And that's because it's not a very hard shot to make. You can put the pin right on the shoulder of the deer and you can pull the trigger and you're going to get them in the lungs every single time. So they're not going very fast. If they're outside of 20 yards, I'm going to try to stop them every time. And the reason is because figuring out where to put the pin and how to lead that deer, it just becomes a lot more challenging and the shot itself becomes more difficult. But once I've stopped that deer, now I have to be prepared to aim low because I've created what is potentially a string jumper. So I say anything past 20 yards, you have to increasingly aim low. At 30 yards, you should be at the brisket line on an alert deer. I mean, right at the heart or even below the heart. If that deer's got its head up and it's looking in your direction, trying to figure out where that sound came from, as soon as that bow goes off, he's gonna hear it, and he's gonna drop down to load his legs up in order to bound off. And when he does that, obviously it's gonna lower his vitals too. So you wanna start low with your aiming point. And I say past 30 yards, it gets really ticklish. At 40 yards, I just don't know for sure what that deer is going to do when he reacts. A lot of times they're going to drop further, sometimes they'll drop and turn. Like I said, it's really a delicate thing. So I'd say 20 to 30 yards, stop him. If he's walking between 30 and 40, I think what you do is you stop him, you wait, and as soon as he takes that first step again, after you've alerted him, that's when you shoot. But you aim low, you go for the brisket again. You got to discipline yourself because he's going to stand there for a while trying to sort it out while you're at full draw. You got to wait till he takes that first step. He hasn't really started to move yet. You can see him just taking that step. That's when you need to shoot because now he is not in a position like he was when he was on red alert staring at you to drop quite as much. He's still going to react to it. He just isn't going to be maybe quite as wiry and move quite as much. So that's my shot selection criteria for walking bucks. Hopefully you'll get a chance to put this into effect during the coming week. We plan on being out there a lot hunting ourselves, and hopefully we're going to have a nice buck walking past our tree stands as well. I appreciate you joining me here. I'll see you right back here again next week for my next tip at AmericanHunter.org.